Welcome with me as I start you on a journey. SME Growth and Profitability. SME Growth and Profitability. Don't turn off. Don't think it doesn't concern you. If you're a career person, I was a career person for over 20 years, 25, close to, about 30 or so. The reality is you're coming in someday as an SME, except you just want to be an investor. Even then, you still need SME mentality, okay? So this is important to everyone and for everyone, okay? In a minute, I just want to share with one or two other persons who need to be in the room. So, if you don't mind, you can do that. So just give me a second to bring in other people who need to hear this. SME conversation is for everybody. I'm telling you. Even if you're a career person, I know many of us who are career persons and they have side gigs, and usually before you transition, there's something about transitioning. Even if you've been a career person over the years, someday you will transition. You hear me? Speaking from experience as well. You will transition. And when you transition, if you haven't learned certain fundamentals, you are going to struggle. You are going to struggle. So I'm starting to say that if you are a career person, and you don't switch off if you're a career person. Don't. Okay, don't switch off. First, if you're a career person, it's even a good time to listen now, listen well, so you don't make the mistake many career persons make when they leave. I've had some very unpleasant experiences. Not me, I heard, and I also saw some of my people who were career people doing very well in career, waiting for pension, waiting for gratuity and all of that. And it happened while they were maybe late 50s, 55, 60 and all. When they left and they had that purse of money, because they didn't know what to do with it, because they hadn't trained as entrepreneurs, because they hadn't learned certain other ways of, multiplying their fund and money. Now wahala, many of them put money in investments that almost killed them. In fact, some people died. But soon their life changed. After like 3 years, you won't believe this person used to be a very senior person who had everything going. If you believe with me that what we are discussing is important, come in the chat room and say yes, you agree. I beg. If you agree with me, yes, thank you. This series is going to make sense, because I'm not just speaking as an entrepreneur of yesterday. I'm going to speak from career. I've seen both lives, career life, your entrepreneurship life, and the fusion and the things you should learn here and there. Okay, thank you, Agbons. Yes, thank you. Yes. Okay, so let's start the journey today. So that means whether you're a career person here or you're an entrepreneur here, you should be here any which way. As long as you are not retired to say, now I've retired, or I'm not doing anything again, you should be here. And I really want to employ us and plead with us to say, invite other people. Please, after today, I will try and post it and share it. Please share it to other people, your friends, your people in your communities. And let's come and continue. I know many people are already learning. They're doing things about entrepreneurship, but please, because it's going to be a long series, I'm going to put my leg on it until we get to a comfortable level. Is that okay? Thank you. So let me start from the very foundation. And many of these things I tell you, I'm not reading them up in the book. Let me confess it. It's not that I have a book I'm reading. It's good to read books. I may reference one or two. Not even books. Maybe I just check something up, a definition up online. Waiting at the talk is waiting at I don't experience. So if you wake me up, Hannah, about this, waiting I know, I will tell you. Okay, never mind, I speak pidgin sometimes. Sometimes we go Queen's English, or sometimes we just do natural. Okay. Yes, all right. I want us to have fun. Now 30 minutes to get. This 30 minutes, let's have fun. Over your lunch if you are at work. Okay. So this morning I was thinking to say, how do I kick us off? And it dawned on me to talk about entrepreneurs, types of entrepreneurs. It may be more than this, so okay, like I said, I didn't read this up anywhere, so just from my experience, and I've just classified them into like four for now. 4. Number 1, I said there are natural entrepreneurs. And the best example I can give are children that just like money. Hey, they just like money. I don't know if you have some of them. You give, Chinedu gives you his money to keep, even if it's 1 naira. As a child or 2-year, 3-year-old, he's telling you, don't spend my money. Those days when we used to have kolo. Kolo is. What do they call it in English? I forgot, that thing that you put, what's the English word now? Remind me. Where you put coins in the days of coins. You put your coins. English has run away, right? Okay. where you keep your money. You have these children, you give them their own what will I do with this word now? Somebody please remind me. Yeah, piggy bank. Thank you. The piggy bank. You thank you, piggy bank. Thank you all. Yes. So you get those days, you brand it for each of the children because you want them to start learning how to say that culture. No, you give to them. One of the children is such that when he wakes up in the morning, he goes and carries piggy bag. He tries to count what is in it. Sometimes you see him removing it just to be sure that, just to be sure that that money, nothing has left it. He will count and remove it. He will come back from school as a child, natural, and he's going to look that his piggy bag is there, the box is still there, nobody has tampered. He gives his money, a guest comes and gives his money to him. And mommy says or daddy says, I'm keeping it. He's coming. Next tomorrow, you are now buying something. You pull out your money and you say, mommy, is that my money? I hope that is not my money. This person, this child, is just naturally conscious about money and really wants to eat, not even to spend it. He just likes to see money and know that money is his own. Do I have a witness? Some of you are like that. Some of us were never like that and not like. These are natural entrepreneurs. For these kind of persons, their eyes go after money. Their eyes go after where the money is, what the money is saying, how the money is growing. And honestly, I sometimes I just wish that I was like that or I'm like that fully, even though over time you learn some of these things. So those I call natural entrepreneurs. With those kind of people, they take risk a lot. Because 3 people are in the room. As they grow, they've learned, and they have learned because naturally they know how to follow the money. That's the word here, follow the money. As in, hello, follow the money. 3 people are speaking, are pitching to you. These people, they know how to know who has the money, who will release the money. They don't miss it most often. It's natural. They just, they sense the money. They smell them. They know. Come on now. Okay, so those I call natural entrepreneurs. Okay, and it's from childhood. They just grew into it. And you can grow into that as well. But I categorize that as natural entrepreneur. Number 2, this is my categorization. Like I said, I'm not reading in any book. I'm just saying. Number 2 are family entrepreneurs. Who are family entrepreneurs? These are people like my husband who grew up within families where parents were entrepreneurs. My mother tried to be an entrepreneur. She tried, but it was later. I didn't quite do too much with her, but there are families where you are born into, daddy is a businessman, mommy is a businessman. He's a distributor for this company, or he's buying and selling, trading usually, or they are exporting, or they are building, they are manufacturing, they are producing. When you are born into an entrepreneurial family, somewhat there are things that background teaches you. Well, it's informal, but you learn some things, except you didn't grow up from home or you were not involved at all. Many times, some of you hawk. Me, I hawk thing at some point, or I hawk, but not too much. It was a little thing. My mother was trying, as a trader, she was trying to see how things could be better. Somebody then brought some kind of beans. This kind of species, me, they were not the normal types. And my mother took it, okay, she will help sell. And at some point, they gave to me to sell. I think I hawked once or twice. And this was like, not hawk on the street. It's like, there are people in the market. Okay, so maybe that's not hawking. People in the market that were like friends to my mom. And they say, go and give it to them. But I carry it on my head and I took it there. So when you are a family entrepreneur, when you grow up in families where entrepreneurship is the bread and butter, you will stay in the shop. You stay in the store. At age 7, you are apprenticing without knowing. You are at age 11 now, you return from school, you are in the store. You are reading your book in the shop. You're collecting money. People are coming to buy. They're buying order. You are developing something. You are really growing some skills, some entrepreneurial skills informally. If anything, accounting skills, you're collecting money, you're keeping, bookkeeping, you are recording, you are writing. When your parents come, you're telling them that, I sold 5 loaves of bread. And where is the money? Those days, they used to put money under the tree. They'll put one paper, they'll put like a serviette. They'll put like napkin on a tray. Those days, people will even buy and drop money, even if nobody is there. It used to be like that in Nigeria. You will buy oranges. Nobody, maybe the person selling had gone into room or something. You will just go and put your change on top. It's there, and nobody steals this. Is there. History. Anyway, so that's when you grew up in a family. But again, you need to pay attention. And as I'm speaking now, some of you are entrepreneurs. Is there a way we can start involving our children? Please, can we start involving them? Please, can we start? Can we start just gradually integrating them? The fact that they say they want to do computer science does not matter. They need to learn some functional skills. And it comes... What is pausing my video? Is it back now? Hello, am I back on? It says me pausing. I hope nothing is paused it. Please tell me if you can hear me now, if I'm back live. Okay, I'm back. Thank you. All right. So that's number 2. Natural family and family who are entrepreneurs. Number 3 are trained entrepreneurs. So you've worked you worked in an entrepreneurial environment, or you work in a company, and then you just began to learn about entrepreneurship. Okay, so that can be whether you went to serve as an apprentice, or your career, or in your business, you're learning some things. Those of us in career, thank you. Those of you in career, those of us in career today, there are entrepreneurial skills you're learning in career. As I speak now, that you may not, you just think I'm not an SME, and you'll be shocked. There are things you're learning currently that will be so useful in your business tomorrow, or in any entrepreneurial environment tomorrow. Okay, so those are trained, And number 4, which is the last for me, based on this my own analysis and categorization, and it is not exhaustive, I call them situational entrepreneurs. Situational entrepreneurs. Who are situational entrepreneurs? What thing we will do? What else shall I do? Oh, they just fired me from my office. I don't have any other thing to do. What can I do? I have to survive. So for me to survive, the only thing I have to do is business. So that is a situational entrepreneur, And if you're a situational entrepreneur, it would have been good that you were trained before you got into the situation. However, even at that instance, you still must get some learning and training. Otherwise, you will pay heavy school fees that may shatter your life. Okay? So then, because you don't have a job anymore, you have a house, there's you have a backyard, that you can use. You just tell yourself, we have to survive. Hey, let's start rearing chicken, or let's do fish pond here. As that thought, as good as that thought is, question is, are you trained in that skill? Are you skilled for that opportunity, that business? Have you learned anything in that area? Do you have any passion for that at all? Why fishery? Why not something else? So we are coming. I'm just going to take it very gradual with us. We'll just flow inside this conversation as I go on, because like I said, I'm going to run this in series. Okay, so these are the basic 4 types, and I think if you know any other, please come in the room and say you also think there can be this type of entrepreneur. Perhaps said there are natural, you just go after the money, you know where the money is, instinctively you can say what it is. Family, you grew up in a family, so you began to learn entrepreneurship. Trained, so by reason of career or business, you are training, you are learning. And then situational, you just jump into it, and you're like, I don't have any other choice, I have to be an SME, I have to be an entrepreneur. And I'm saying, if you are the number 4, it's dangerous. You must go back to learning, so that you don't run into trouble. The little resources you have, you don't waste it. Okay, all right. So now, point number 2, big point, is entrepreneurship is a very complex route. Okay, right? Because if you're an entrepreneur, okay, now so let's define what separates an entrepreneur from a career person. Usually, the quickest way of differentiation is to be say who is an employee, who is an employer, who is paying, who owns the business. Okay, as a career person, you're on salary. Okay, because it's a 30-day, you get your salary, you're paid for services rendered. As an entrepreneur, you own the enterprise. So from visioning to execution to everything, you depend on profit, more or less. It's a P&L. So it's because it's yours, it's work and chop. It's what you work that you chop. But if you're a career person, you are chopping even sometimes when you are not working. If the system is not that tight where they can assess and appraise you, you may sit in an employment and you are not really adding much value, but you are earning salary for more than 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, in fact. Okay, so the biggest way we differentiate is to say, okay, are you getting wages? Not even in that terms of it, right? But are you on salary? Somebody you're helping some other person, build a vision, define, build, and accentuate, and execute a vision, or it is your own vision, it's your own thing, it's your own vision, it's your thinking, it's your passion that you're working on. Okay, all right. Now, but entrepreneurship, deepening on it, is complex. It's complex because no one person is perfect, no one person knows everything, and entrepreneurial work demands that you will know many things. I'm choosing my word, many things, not everything, many things. Okay, so it's complex because if you're not careful, you are alone and you are expected to be the CEO, to be the HR, to be all of these elements that make for a good organization. And many times people fall, you fall flat. I've seen from experience, I've seen many people who are so much producers. They love to produce, they love to create, and they jump out being entrepreneurs. Now, the challenge of that is you are producing, you don't even know whether you have a market for it. You don't even know how to price. You don't even know how to promote. You don't even know. To start with, the biggest question is you don't know whether there's a market for it. So you find many people, they have the product, but nobody is buying. I've had instances like that. One of my daughters, lovely sisters, and she was very good at this thing, and she liked to do it. She liked to produce. She liked to cook this particular, meal, and it was a very good one. But she said to me, "Look, I have it, but only 1 or 2 persons have come to buy and all." So for many people, you find them being good at they are producers, but they are not marketers. So let's put 2 legs. Let's divide entrepreneurship into 2 broad legs now. Okay, this curriculum now we do ourselves. I'm just talking, and we are going by ourselves. Let's put it to say 1 leg is the production leg. Let's say the other is the commercial leg. Okay, so there are 2 legs. Production leg is the person, I know what to do. I can do it. I can plait. I can plait hair. I can cook. I can do. These are things I can do. I like it. I can do it. I'm passionate about it. That's your production leg. The second leg, this other part, is the commercial leg. The commercial leg is, how do I convert that thing I can do to money? How can I generate money from it? How? There are 2 big legs. And you must understand both legs. You find out that those who are producers, many times, quite a number of them struggle at the commercial side. You find out that those who are commercially oriented, sometimes they struggle at what they can do to produce. But those are the people that really will normally go and work for others. They will come and work for those who are producing, because they know how to develop business. They know how to make contact. They know how to market and all of that. So you don't need to know both, but you don't need to be you should understand both, but you don't need to be an expert at both. But you need to realize, and be true to who you are. Remain in know what your own bread and butter is, so you can know the kind of help that you need to complement you and make you a successful entrepreneur. Remember, today I'm starting on a series and I'm speaking to entrepreneurship, growth and profitability. How do you grow? How do you get profitable? And I'm just saying that it's a complex web. Entrepreneurship is complex. Don't even let me get into the challenges we have with production and all. Don't worry. We're taking it in stride, one after the other. Okay? We are going to come into the big details as we move on. Every Thursday, join me 12:30. Whether you get the alert or not, or alarm or not, just go ahead, set your alarm and please be in here. Okay? All right. Okay. Like I said, if you are one part, you can then invite the other people. If you are a production person, then see how you can partner or get somebody to help with commercial. If you are commercial, see how you can, work with people who can help you with the production. Those are the two broad, big legs. Okay. All right. Good. Now, let me also say this. What is the joy of entrepreneurship? Can I tell us something? Do you know that entrepreneurship is as basic as life? I'm telling you. It is the foundation of everything, including career. Career is built on entrepreneurship. Let me break it down. I worked for a multinational company for over 20, for multinational companies. Okay, yeah. I also work for indigenous companies who are entrepreneurs. So I've worked in both as a paid person, as an employee. I was employed. And one of the reasons when I was leaving, I'm like, look, all the big companies you hear today, they started as entrepreneurial businesses. They were people, one person's idea, like your idea, this thing you're thinking about. I started with Bicham. And if you know the story of Bicham or the story of chicken, what do you call it? Any company you can think about in the world, go and think. Many of them, most of them, if not all, started by somebody's idea. Now, the way the business is packaged and the way it's scaled is what makes a small company today become a big enterprise tomorrow. And the next 10 years it's become a phenomenon. You're looking at what it has become so big, and we are now saying it's a conglomerate. It's a big Dangote. Let me not go too far, sir. Dangote started as a one-man business. But there are things you put in place that makes an SME becomes a conglomerate tomorrow, or become a multinational, a global company in the next couple of years, right? And I think I really want to even touch on some of them right away, so that some of us, I'm also speaking to myself, because many of us, we didn't get any training in entrepreneurship. Really, they not train us for school on how to do business. Okay, we did commerce. Those were like how to do on ground, as in foot on ground. We didn't learn many of these things in school. And it's a gap. So many of us got into entrepreneurship and we began to learn and pick, fail and rise and fall, and begin to pick, right? And I'm going to keep sharing my own practical experience as we go on. Back on the table here. So I'm saying that, what makes organizations that started as SME and tomorrow they have now become so big that they are now multinational. So Bicham, when I entered into Bicham, and I saw that, wow, this is a company like Unilever. We felt so good those days. As trainees working for big organizations. When we entered, we realized that somebody started it some years ago, maybe in the 18th century. So somebody started, and from there it began to grow. And today it's in 150 countries. The brands are everywhere. Coca-Cola, mention, especially FMCG brands and even business brands, and they're everywhere. What happened? It is because of a few fundamentals that I really want to speak to first today. Number one, the vision. The vision. Many of us, when we start our entrepreneurial whatever, we don't have long-range big visions for them. I'm also speaking to myself, I'm telling you. Many of us, when we started our business, we just started to be like, at least let me start something for bread and butter, okay? Let me just start something. I know I don't want to be idle, number one, and I like doing this thing, number two. And in any case, I need to make some money, okay? But many people don't start from the beginning thinking of a big enterprise tomorrow. Am I speaking to you? We don't start off from the very beginning saying that, this business I want to start is going to live, it's a legacy business. When I die, this business is going to be operational. This business is going to, is going to outlive me. This business is going to be all around the world. This business is going to be, and let me also say, we will not all have that kind of vision, okay? I agree. We won't all be that visionary. But you should be visionary wherever you are with your enterprise. So at the point of starting, or even now, start to tell what will happen to this business in another 10 years, another 20. Many of us are so short term, I'm telling you. And in Nigeria, I know in Nigeria, God bless you, in Nigeria, many of us are guilty Again, because there are many things you are driving, you are riding operationally that doesn't make you take your head off the table. But from the very beginning, and today, after today's conversation, please take this weekend, sit down, and just tell yourself to say, look, this is my business. Where do I want to leave it? Just strategically, just tell yourself. Because if you envision it as a long range, your thinking, your mindset, and the decisions you're making today will reflect in that. I'm talking from my experience. When you think of it as a short term, this one, I'll just do it for, anyway, let me just be doing it anyway, any day. Let's just go, day as you go as you go, you know, stay as you go. Let it pay you as you move on. Someday we'll know what we decide about it. It will be reflected in the business, in the growth, in everything that happens in the business. So your mindset, okay, vision, have a long range vision, not just survival for that business, except you really have looked at it and you just think that this should be a small business. Let me tell you, I don't know why, a story is coming to my head, and let me tell you, I worked with somebody. Someday in this journey of entrepreneurship, I'm sure I'm going to bring her up here. I won't mention her name, I won't give her away now. They started a business some years ago, about 20 years ago. What started from a need within the vicinity became or has become so big, so big. My people, you don't want to talk about billions, I'm telling you. One day, I was speaking with this lady, and I realized some of the challenges, aside from other challenges they had, there was also the challenge of, when we are building a business and it starts to grow and grow, and your children are not interested in the business, or you're thinking succession, you're thinking who can help, if you're not careful, such thoughts can make you even make the business small ab initio. I don't know if you're feeling me. So you're like, look, my children are all abroad, for example, they have jackpot. They're not even thinking of coming. So why will I try to build? I will just build something small that will survive me, that will live for me after me when I'm gone. I know it's wrong thinking. If you have the stamina to go, if you're in the right environment, if you're in the right business, the right industry, and the potentials are huge, there are ways you can still take that business up. There's a way to kind of deliver it further to some other persons that don't have to be your children, which is what this my friend had to do. And they're living well by God's grace, and they're happy because the business has blown, as in it don't blow. I look at them like, hey, thank God for this kind of a person. Okay, so what I'm saying is vision. It should just go beyond, let me just survive. Okay, right. Okay, I've talked about, it has to be legacy. Number 2, you must, let me dwell on this one, and we may, oh my God, what's the time? We're almost done. Jesus is Lord. Okay, please give me a few minutes. Oh, you must make your business a career. You must think your business like it is career. I'm stopping here, but yes, let me read what I wrote so that it will be fast. I'm saying, each time, what is the difference between career and business? For an employee, you say I'm an employee, I'm working here. As an owner, you say I'm an owner. That's just the most fundamental, the basic. That's just basic. What makes a career or a company, an organization is what? Structure. Say with me, structure. Say it, structure. Structure. What makes a company, a Bicham, a Cadbury, a whatever, is structure. They have structures. But SMEs, many SMEs don't have structures. Because the only one person or 2 people are just doing. But I came to change your thinking. You can get a structure even if you are still small. Put structure as part of the very foundation of your business. That is what guarantees you for a bigger tomorrow. The beauty and the benefits that come from structure is so huge. Have a structure. Salary structure, so you pay yourself. Recruitment structure. So it's not just bringing somebody from, okay, I need somebody. Who will come? Okay, Mama Lagbaja. Oh, my neighbor, my best, my church, my mosque brother, my neighbor. Let's just say, let him come out. Interview that person. Give that person an impression that you are interviewing many more people. Even if you know that this person can do the job. Let that person know there's a process. So structure, systems. Systems speaks to processes. Let that person, there's a process by which you do things here. I don't know. Some of these things are natural. Let me flip back to natural. Have you seen people before, though they are just a small business, but they are organized? In that small thing, they are organized. The way they keep the pots, the cleanliness, the way they arrange the plates, the way you will just see there's a difference between this and other people. Structure, systems, okay? Accountability is the third thing. What makes a career different from many SMEs? Accountability, because in career, in a company, you are accountable. Even as an MD, you are accountable to the board. MD, CEO, some people are still asking you questions. Hannah, you said you are going to deliver this. So you must put that into your SME too. Accountability. Somebody must hold you accountable. You can't say because it's my, after, not be my money I take set up. Oh, so I won't remove money to do anything now. So it's my, you are not going to go far. Okay, so structure, system, accountability. Okay, I don't even want to get to the bit of the mission, which is like the core. If I should get to it because it's important. Almost like, why did you set up that business? What is your why? What is your motive? What is the mission? Those Bicham, all those people, and this my friend I spoke to, there was something driving her about that situation, about the need, about the challenge. Why did you set up the business? I'm going back to my first point. If you didn't listen from beginning, listen to it again and share it. That's fine. There is something called the core of the enterprise. What is the core of your enterprise? It's just to make money. If it's to make money, you don't have a business. Because when other people come in, then your idea will not be strong. You will not be differentiated. You will be common. You will be like other people. It must be beyond making money. Is there a need you want to, is there a problem you want to solve? Is there something that is happening? Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'll round up now with a story and on the mission. And next week, we are going to continue on another level. Okay, let me tell you this story. As a business person, I was doing, thank you, Vegas. I was consulting. Because my business is a consulting business, or one leg of it. I was consulting for a company. This company is, it's not an SME in that sense. You know, when company has become bigger than SME, it don't become bigger, but it's not a conglomerate in that sense. They are very big in the East. They are big in Lagos. If I mention some of their products, you will know them. So this was owned by one fantastic Igbo man who just liked me and gave us the business. So we're doing research for them, how they will increase, how the business can do more. Long and short, we worked for them for like 3 years. I think it was the 3rd year. He now said, they are not making profit in some of the lines. So I said, okay, let's get involved and look at the system and see people and see process and see where the bleeding is coming and all. Anyway, long and short, again, we did a recommendation after the research. What was my recommendation was, professionally, some people in your team are not doing well. We can collapse the structure. We can reduce some people, let them go, and bring in more certified, more competent people to do this kind of road, blah, blah, and that will reduce. So we submit. When we submitted, I realized I wasn't hearing from me in a while. And later I called him, sir, we've not heard from you. And he said, Hannah, because he was a lot older than me. God bless him. He said, Hannah, there's something I've not told you. I said, what is it, sir? He said that business was set up by his own father. And I think whether from his own grandfather or his father, but each stage, they kept growing it bigger. All of the children were making the business bigger and bigger and bigger. So he said that recommendation I gave him to say they should kind of retrench, reduce the staff so that they can be profitable, that it was a difficult one. And he said to me, this is where I'm going, and I'll end here. And he said to me, Hannah, do you know why this business was set up? My grandfather that set it up because he wanted to give jobs to people in our community, in this community. You know, I don't know, you know, it's just like, look, in this local government area, my grandfather that set up the business, the vision, the core, the heart of the enterprise. You know, what we call the core is like the center, the yolk in the egg. And the yolk is the sweetest, isn't it? He said, the core of this organization is to recruit our people so they are not going to town, going anywhere, so they can they can have job to do, they can raise their family, they can do. When I heard that, I'm like, what? I said, thank you for this insight. I said, because this insight overruns and overthrows any other analysis anybody may want to give. What that means is that business was set up ab initio for the purposes of empowering the localities, people in the locality. It's a genuine vision. It's a great vision. And for that reason, my recommendation can only be, let's train and retrain and retrain. Even if we're going to retrench, we will retrench and replace with people from within the community that can do well. We put SOPs and SLAs and things in place to ensure that we get the most competent of them to do what. But we must play to the core, the heart, what we call the heart of the brand, the purpose, the reason, the very reason it was set up. And that business is still running today on the strength of the fact that this business will continue to provide job excuse me, and empowerment for people within the community. All right, so we round up today by saying, as an entrepreneur, what is the core of your business? Why did you, what is your why? It's not just to want to make money. When the why is strong, money will follow it. I'm telling you, I've also put my hands in a few things. Some was for money, a few really. But many of the things that give me joy today are what I do for the reasons, not for money, but just to see some problems solved, just to handle one or two things, just to help one or two things and one or two persons and all. Is that fine? All right. I will run my time by 2 minutes or so. Thank you very much for joining me today. Now, I'm starting this series. I've just started today on entrepreneurship. And like I said, by way of rounding up, I've worn many hats. Small hat as entrepreneur family, a little, my parents, a little. I'm married to somebody from entrepreneur background and family. I work for multinational, and I know how multinationals all started. They were all entrepreneurships. They were entrepreneurial businesses that scaled because of 1, 2, 3, 4 things, and these businesses it outlived them. Do you want to build a mega business that outlives you? What is the why? Thank you, my dear sister. What is the why of your business? Go this weekend, go and reflect on these things we've discussed. Why is that business? Why are you in that business? Number 2, are you positioning that SME like a business that can be multinational tomorrow? Remember, it will stand on certain functions, certain fundamentals. What did we say? Structure, isn't it? System, isn't it? Accountability. I didn't speak to strategy. I will speak to strategy later. Strategy, right? Then your mission, your core, the heart, the why of the business. Thank you for joining. Yes. All right. Somebody's asking, when the why is solved, money. Oh, okay. Thank you. Yes. When the why is resolved, the money will follow the why. Absolutely. The money will run after the why. Yes. And I think we may have to talk more about that. I'll make a note of that to talk about how money runs after why. It's a strategic question and conversation. And I'm sure next week we're going to talk about that. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you. Remember, 12:30 Thursday next week. Bring in more entrepreneurs. Let's have these conversations because entrepreneurship drives organization. It drives companies. It drives nations. So here we are. If you're a career person, you've listened to this very well. Well done. Remember, they come join us. Many stories. Okay. See you again next week Thursday. Take care. God bless you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Bye-bye.